Hello and welcome everyone to another StarCraft 2 England cast. Today I have got Game 1 of a best of 5 from the Gigabyte nVidia Invitational. It is between MillForGG and aTnDarKFoRcE. Now DarkFoRcE is the blue Zerg in the top position, and 4GG is the red Terran in the left position. And apparently I've gone colorblind, but that's all good because I know the difference between Terran and Zerg, so everything will hopefully play out well. Now, what can we expect from these two players? Well, obviously it's a top level match, it's best of 5, so Game 1 and 2 are very psychologically important, and if you win both, obviously going into the third game is great, but again, if you lose one, win one, things get really quite interesting. It's not like a best of 3, the pressure's off quite considerably in Game 1 in my opinion. So, what can we expect from the two players? Obviously, it is a TvZ. So, firstly, let's look at things from 4GG's perspective. Basically, he's going to get Marines, tanks, and then medevacs, because that works really, really well against Zerg, specifically siege tanks, because as long as the siege tank vehicle attack is at least equal to the Zerg's carapace upgrades, they one-shot Zerglings and Banelings, and that makes up the majority of the Zerg's army. So DarkFoRcE, what is his strategy going to be? Well, he has different options available. Firstly, it's going to be Zergling Baneling. That worked really, really nice. You get the surround with the Zerglings, the Banelings connect on the Marines and deal hideous damage. You also can chuck in a couple of Roaches just to be on the more safe side. It does help with any kind of early aggression from Hellions or anything like that, but again, probably not going to be seen. Then you've got a choice of either going into, say, Mutalisks for the harassment value and go Ling Bling Muta, which basically the Mutalisks pick off the tanks, the Zerglings and Banelings try and deal with the Marines. You also harass with that build, of course. The other option is, of course, going for Infestors. Now, I really like Infestors. I think they're a great unit. Against Marines, they're incredible because Marines clump up really tight, one fungal growth and a Baneling, and everything dies. So, we'll wait and see. Now, so far, 4GG hasn't taken any gas. He does have this SCV here, so there goes down the command center. It's going to be a 1-Rax command center build, and I love this opening against Zerg. The reason I think it's so brilliant is because most Zergs will open a 15 hatch into a 15 or 16 pooling gas. By getting this command center, well, one, you're safe. You know you're safe anyway because the Zerg is 99% of the time going to go for a 15 hatch, so they're not going to be putting on pressure. What it does do though is it means that you can keep up economically. You'll be ahead slightly on 2 bases, so that basically forces the Zerg to either say, well, I've got to take a 3rd base, which again, harder to defend, you've got to spread out the Zerg army, or they have to say, well, I need to come and deal damage to you. And on a map such as this, well, this area isn't too wide, with some tanks and some bunkers, and a bunker already going down, you're going to be safe. So, I love the 1-Rax command center build. You follow up with a double gas, because that allows you to get some key tech. We'll see a factory drop down there, so reactor Hellions probably following up, obviously not designed to do as much damage as before, but designed predominantly to try and really keep map control, prevent any Zerglings moving out, and prevent creep spread. So, going on to words of creep spread, what is the Queen activity all about? Well, 2 out already, a 3rd on the way. I personally love having at least 1 Queen purely for spreading creep. 2 I think is great. Just get 4 queens on 2 bases and you are on the money, to be honest. It's really, really fun. So anyway, we've got the reactor coming down, we've got the factory nearly finished, we've got the natural base done. That's going to be an orbit command soon, which means double the amount of mules, which is double the amount of fun. The queens injecting everywhere, anywhere, so this is all good. Should see the injects, there we go. No creep spread yet, but then the 3rd queen about to finish up. If we look at the worker count, 28 to 22, when you factor 2 mules in, it's probably about equal. The first Hellions on their way, and now a starport as well, with a tech lab on the barracks. So this is a very, very common harassment opening. You basically go for reactor Hellions and Banshee, or Cloak Banshee, and basically that really screws up a Zerg's play, because they need to be doing damage to you, predominantly, because they're on equal bases, and will all take a 3rd. If they take a 3rd, well, guess what? You've got a lot of units to go and punish that. If they don't take a 3rd, well, the way you respond to Hellions and basically Banshee, are completely different. For the Hellions, you need spine crawlers and or roaches. For the Banshee, you need spore crawlers and lots of queens. Neither is a great solution to both, and essentially that means that you can have big difficulties. Lair will be done though, so this cloak is going to be very, very ineffective. The evolution chamber going down, I don't know if anything was scouted. If we take a quick look, yeah, he did see. So this is some key scouting information from DarkFoRcE on why he's throwing down that evolution chamber. He's going to get a couple of spores, and he has a couple of options where he can chop them down. I reckon we'll see one around here, probably, maybe just in the middle line, but the Hellions have managed to make their way in, and this is going to be huge, huge problems for DarkFoRcE now. 4GG is doing absolutely huge damage. Those queens are not cleaning up these Hellions anywhere near quick enough, and still not a single Hellion has fallen. This is great control. More drones getting picked off. I mean, we've already had 14 drones killed. That's absolutely huge, and still all 4 Hellions are alive. The Zergling coming in on the action. They should be able to pick off a couple of Hellions, but here comes the reinforcements, and again the natural is going to take huge damage here as well. Just look at all these drones getting roasted, and after the queen range increase, this should never be the case. So 19 drones killed. If we look at the loss tab, that nearly double the amount lost for DarkFoRcE purely in drones compared to that of 4GG. And if we look at the work count, that now puts 4GG ahead in the work count before you even take yours into consideration. The Banshee is now in here doing some damage, but the cloak was obviously negated, but it did allow a couple more workers to get picked off there. So again, a worker advantage there for 4GG, and he's also got the mules, which will help as well. So if we actually look at the income in this perspective, this is quite substantial. About 400 minerals a minute more being produced by 4GG, and that's going to put him in such dominating spots. Spire is the choice here for DarkFoRcE at the moment. Basically, Mutas is a good option to go for, but I expect we'll see missile turrets down because the engineering bay is already there. So the second, if a scan went off, it would get detected. The reason this Spire is so out of the way is predominantly because a scan could go off here, and then you may see or the other option is a scan in the middle, just to try and catch any tech in this sort of area. The Spire, less likely to get scanned, and again may come as a surprise, but to be honest, with 3 reactors coming on here, that's going to be 6 Marines at a time. That's huge. The missile turret's already being built, and I love the way that 4GG is playing ever so safely now. He's done a lot of damage. He knows he's been successful in his damage dealing, so he's just all good. That one Banshee is going back, but now out come the Mutalisks, but the detection is nowhere close, so more drones are going to go down. Of course, the Mutas have now been spotted. That's not good time. And just look at the damage being done here. The Mutas being pulled back, so is that Overseer, but of course, until the Overseer comes in, this Banshee is happily going to pick off drone after drone. It will go down now, but 37 workers killed. That is not fun, and it's also bought an awful lot of time for GG to basically get out a lot of Marines and any missile turrets he wants in order to deal with this Mutaflock, and he has got that turret there already, but the Mutas look like they're just going to go straight into it. Losing a Muta already, that's some bad control by DarkFoRcE. He either had to commit and try and pick off the Mutalisk, or basically just not go for it at all. And there's the GG from DarkFoRcE already. He knew he had bad control, so no point trying to go on. So that was game 1, guys, of this best of 5. It goes to 4GG. If you did enjoy it, please like/thumbs up the video, leave a cool comment, follow me on Twitter, and subscribe so you don't miss any cool games. And flick over to my channel to find game 2. I will see you there any second. Bye for now.